Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to The Voice Within. Last week, we have been talking about things that we normalize to survive environments, how our nervous system adapts to the things, abnormal things, to survive it. And I have touched inside of that podcast episode a little bit about how do we basically change it? How do we step out from collective blindness and choose something better for ourselves? This week, I want to give you one more tool. I want to bring you a little bit deeper into this topic and offer you something which will help you to break free from the things that everybody normalize. Or to say better, help you to identify what did you normalize in your life. Because often we are not even aware that there are certain things in our life that we normalize. What I have noticed in my work and in my observations, that as long as we stay the same, as long as everybody around us is doing the same, we are not aware that there is a different way, or we are not aware that the way we are doing it, maybe it's not really beneficial for us. The moment we are exposed to something different is basically the moment where that contradiction starts and we start questioning the things that we normalized. In psychology, this is called cognitive dissonance. And as per definition, it means the situation where we are holding two contradictory beliefs, and when our actions are in contradiction or in clash with our personal values. So basically, when we are not aligned with ourselves. As I was saying in the previous podcast episode, we humans like consistency, we like predictability, even if that consistency and predictability is not good for us. We would rather normalize predictable, painful, uncomfortable things than try something new and something unpredictable. So how do we get out from something when we are not even aware that we are in something? So let me give you one simple example which happened in my life. I was cleaning my house in a certain way my entire life. This is the way that my mother taught me. I never questioned it. I never thought about it. I was always doing it that way. And I was putting great deal of control and effort to do it exactly as she taught me. Like there is no other way to do it except that way. And I would often talk with some of my friends who are coming from my country. Then I was asking them, how do you clean this? How do you do this? And then they would repeat exactly the same thing. We are doing it this way because our mothers teach us this way. So kind of collective blindness, doing some steps which look very unnecessary, repeatable, and exhausting just because everybody is doing it the same way. And then even more than that, when the things are not done that way, then I would get very frustrated and I would expect everybody to follow the way that my mother taught me. It was giving me a lot of anxiety cleaning itself. So how did I manage to change this? How did I manage to introduce something different, which gives me a result of clean house and at the same time it doesn't detonate my nervous system? I started researching. I started introducing contrast in my life intentionally. I started talking to the women and people from other nationalities and asking them, how do they do these things? How do they finish these things? I started researching online to see, okay, does this certain thing has to be cleaned in this way and this is the best way, or there is some easier, better way? And I know it sounds maybe ridiculous that I was doing this thing, but the problem was not the way my house is clean. The problem was great deal of need for control inside of me that I was trying to break free from. So only way I could break free from something that was collectively normalized in my environment is to introduce contrast, to get enough evidence for that contrast, and then to choose something which is aligned with my own standards and values. Once we introduce contrast, we basically get cognitive dissonance. We get that situation where two opposite beliefs are clashing, and now we have to choose the one which is in alignment with our own values and standards. So we don't wake up one day from illusion because somebody explained us that we are living illusion, that we normalize something which shouldn't be normalized. We wake up because two realities are standing in front of us. standing together, and we are in position where we have to choose different, better reality for ourselves. Normalized thing or illusion, they can stand for years, for entire life, as long as there is no contrast, as long as there is no different reality standing next to it. As soon as the contrast comes, we start thinking, because our brain is built the way to think. We start thinking, okay, why do I do this and this person is doing it this way? Why do I accept this and the other person doesn't? Why this looks easier than the way I am doing it? Does this make sense? Does this doesn't make sense? Would I accept it for myself or no? So the thinking creates questions, and questions give us answers, and answers puts us in position that once we know something, we gain awareness, we cannot unknow it. Now we know that there is some different, better way. Now, can we choose better now when we know better? This is the name of one of my podcast episodes. If I know better, I'll do better. So once we know better, once we have different realities standing next to our reality, can we choose better for ourselves? Because the thing is, the longer we are ignoring, the more uncomfortable we are feeling. This is what happened to me with that cleaning thing. Once I got different way of doing the things, every time when I tried automatically to do it the way that my mother teach me, I felt that discomfort, because now I know there is different way. Now I know there is better way. Now I'm doing what? Proving something to somebody. I am like building my identity around something which is exhausting for me. And also there was discomfort of doing something differently than my mother teach me. I felt like being disloyal to her. And to break free from it, I actually talked to her and I explained her and I told her, I think that the way you did these things, it's a bit harder. I think there is easier way. And surprisingly, she was really happy to hear that I found the better way for myself. And actually, even she started accepting that new way. So as you see, a lot of things are just living inside of our head. We create stories, we create meaning, we create reactions of the people, we create outcomes, we create every single possible scenario around our actions, which is not reality. And only way we can know what actually will happen is when we actually do the things. And you can adopt my model of exposing yourself to different things slowly, not throwing yourself into the fire, but slowly, not detonating your nervous system just enough so you feel confident in doing bigger things. Because once we create two realities standing next to each other, once we get into that cognitive dissonance, our brain is craving consistency. It's trying to solve it. So either I'm this or that, either I'm doing this or that. And like I said, the more we stay in that space of, I don't know what to do, the more uncomfortable we are. And basically, sometimes we even become resentful towards ourselves, towards other people for being inconsistency with their own standards and values. It's like we're looking at them and saying, oh, they are so comfortable with doing that thing, and I am not comfortable in deciding what I want to do. So the best way that you can actually check what did you normalize in your life is that you introduce intentionally contradictive beliefs, contradiction. You start talking to a people about the things if they are not that much personal and you are comfortable to talk about it. Start researching online. Start searching for the evidence. Is it this just normalized worldwide, or is this something that I have normalized? Then once you get that contradiction, think about it, ask question, and then choose different actions which is in alignment with your own standards and beliefs. And also there are situations where we are very well aware what we have normalized. We are very well aware that certain things, certain behavior of the people, certain behavior that we do, it's not okay for us. But we are just in that place of fear of choosing differently, choosing unpredictable things, gaining discipline, changing something. So we try to find as much as possible explanations for the things we are doing. because as long as we have good enough explanation, we give ourselves permission to stay exactly where we are. Honestly, it is fine. Usually they say you have to change these things, you have to do something different, you have to choose better for yourself. I think that as long as you are aware that you are doing something which is not good for you, your inner world, your soul will keep pushing you to change that. Give yourself time, live in awareness of that, and try to choose differently slowly without detonating your nervous system. So instead of pushing yourself into the fire, stay there as long as you need. Think about it, ask questions, see how can you slowly do it differently, and then make decisions from confidence rather than panic. My advice for you today is stop normalizing the things which are not okay for you and start searching for contradictions. Start searching for the answers to the things that you have normalized, just to check, is that really okay for everybody, or you have just accepted something and adopted to something simply to survive. You have right to choose differently. You have right to change your mind. You have right to grow. You have right to become something different. Even the plants and everything around us is changing and growing. You are allowed to be something different and to become something different for yourself. Different stages of our life are asking from us different things. What used to be okay before motherhood is not okay anymore after motherhood. What used to be okay before the marriage is not okay anymore after the marriage. What used to be okay when the kids were, 6, 7 months, now it's not okay when they are bigger and they are teenagers. Everything is growing and we are allowed to adopt to that growth. We are allowed to grow with it. And we cannot grow if we are not sure, are we growing or we are standing in the things that we have normalized. Only way we can really understand that is if we put ourselves inside of contradiction intentionally, start researching, start reading, start learning about new things, and then from that place deciding what we want to choose for ourselves and our life. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed and you find some valuable things today. Until the next week, I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Bye.